Hello, and welcome back to another edition of Carrie's Gardening Channel. Today, what I want to actually show you is this is a newspaper pot maker. And I have my little newspaper pots here that I made. And these are biodegradable. The newspaper that I use it's just regular newspaper. I don't use the shiny stuff because that won't break down and that's not good for your plants. So I'll be showing you how I make these, and one of the reasons why I like these is because after you make them, you fill them like with your seed starting mix, and you can plant your seeds in them then, and when your stuff comes up, you just plant the whole thing when you're ready to plant it outside. So this is really good for plants that don't like to be transplanted, or if you transplant them like zinnias and you disturb the root system, they can actually revert back to single flowers. And if you're growing the big double flowers, you definitely don't want them to go back to singles. So disturbing the root system on zinnias is not a good thing. So that's why I like to plant them in here, because I just plant the whole thing then. You don't disturb the roots. I am experimenting with them with eggplants. And I'm experimenting with them with cucumbers, starting cucumbers in them, because cucumbers, they don't always like to be transplanted. You have to really be careful if you plant your cucumber plants in plastic, that you don't really disturb the root system when you transplant them, because they're not too thrilled with that. So I'm playing around with these. And I use these a lot. You can plant like nasturtium seeds in them. You can plant all kind of seeds in them. So I'll show you here how to make them. And I will put a link down below for one of these, so you can go check that out then. Just show you here. So I have my strips of paper here already cut. I have one of these as a template, so I don't want to accidentally use that one. So what you do is you just take this part here. I don't exactly know what to call this, sorry. And you just wrap it around. Fold your ends in. Sorry about that. And this is actually a little long. You can make it a little shorter. And just press down on it. Twist it back and forth. Slide it off, fix it there, and there you have your little newspaper pot. And now you're ready to plant in it. So you can actually double these, like if you wanted to do 2 pieces of paper, you could do that, and that would be fine if you want to make them just a little bit more sturdier. But you don't have to. Just plant them like that. I did most of mine like that, with just one single sheet. And just twist them back and forth. And there you go. And just fill it with your favorite seed starting mix, pre-moistened, and put your seeds in, and should be good to go. So these here, they actually also reduce transplant shock. And what that does, what transplant shock is, when you transplant your stuff out, it can set your plants back for blooming or producing fruit. Now, if they're already like blooming, it doesn't seem to affect them transplanting them. So this method here, it gets rid of the transplant shock, because you're not taking the plants out of the plastic containers and transplanting them. You're just taking them and putting them right in the area where they're going to be growing, and you won't be disturbing the root system. So I like these a lot, and I use these a lot. So sometimes you do have to work with them a little bit and bend them back out. So, and there we go. We have 6 newspaper pots. And I wanted to show you here, these are actually some cucumbers that I've started in newspaper pots, and have some more over here. And there's some more over here growing. And after it's warm enough outside for these to go out, I will harden them off, which I have a video on how to harden your plants off when you first take them outside. You definitely don't want to put them out in the sun. You want to keep them in the shade for a little bit. I'll put a link down below for that video as well. And you just, when they're hardened off and they're ready to go out, you just plant the whole thing in the ground, and it'll get rid of the transplant shock, and they should take off pretty nice for us. So when I start my watermelons and my cantaloupes, I will actually be using these newspaper pots to start them in, because I want to get them off to a good start before they go out. So this is the method I'm going to be using with these newspaper pots. And these would also be really good to start like celosia in, because celosia is one of those plants that does not like to be transplanted. If you disturb the root system on celosia, it might not flower for you, or it could take it a long time to actually flower. You could use this for your broccoli, your cabbage, your cauliflower, the tomato plants, pepper plants. You can use this for all different kinds of things. So it has a very wide range, and plus you're recycling, because you're recycling the newspaper. So this is something that I like to do. I make a lot of these, and I use a lot of them, and so I wanted to add that in. And you could also use these for your perennials, like lupines. Lupines do not like to be transplanted at all, because they send out a taproot. So putting them in something like this would, I think, be a really good idea, because, you know, it's not going to hit the end with the plastic, and when you put them in the ground, they should take off pretty good for you. At least in my opinion, they should. So if you like my video, please like, comment, subscribe. If you have any questions, you can leave them below, and I'll try and answer them for you. Please don't forget to hit that little notification button. That'll tell you when I put a new video on. Thank yous for watching, and hope you have a nice day. Bye.